Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well today. So, have you ever heard of check washing? It's an old scam that's making a big comeback lately, and it's costing people like you and me thousands of dollars. You might think, I don't write that many checks, so this probably doesn't apply to me. But the reality is, check fraud is still a major issue. In fact, in 2022 alone, over 680,000 reports of check fraud were filed across the US. That's nearly double from the year before. So, this is something we all need to be aware of, especially since thieves have gotten more creative with how they target people. Today, I want to walk you through how check washing works, how you can protect yourself from it, and what steps you should take if you find yourself a victim. Because knowing how to avoid this scam could save you a lot of headaches and possibly a lot of money. Now, what exactly is check washing? In simple terms, it's when someone steals a check, usually from the mail, and uses chemicals to erase the information on it, like the payee or the amount. They keep the original signature intact and rewrite the check to make it out to themselves or someone else, sometimes changing the amount to a much higher number. The scary part? It can happen to anyone who still uses paper checks. So then, what are some easy ways to protect yourself? Well, one of the most important things you can do is to drop your mail directly at the post office. That way, your outgoing checks won't sit in your mailbox, vulnerable to theft. I know it might feel like a hassle, but it's one of the best ways to ensure that your mail stays safe. And if you must use one of those blue postal boxes on the street, make sure you drop your mail off before the last pickup of the day. The longer your mail sits in the box, the more time thieves have to get their hands on it. Another thing to consider is how you're writing your checks. It might sound odd, but the type of pen you use really matters. You see, most check washing happens because people are writing checks with regular ballpoint pens, and that ink can be easily erased. But if you use a gel pen, preferably one with black or blue ink, the ink seeps into the paper and makes it much harder for thieves to wash your check. This small change could really make a difference. Now, let's talk about how often you're checking your bank account. Many people don't realize they've been a victim of check fraud until weeks, or even months, later when they happen to notice something odd on their account. To avoid this, it's really important to monitor your account regularly. Don't just wait for your monthly statement. Instead, go online every few days and make sure everything looks normal. If you notice anything suspicious, report it to your bank immediately. Most banks will refund your money if the fraud is reported within a certain time frame, usually 30 days. But if you wait too long, you could be out of luck. And speaking of luck, it's also good practice to sign up for services like USPS Informed Delivery. It's free, and you get an email every day with photos of the mail that's supposed to arrive in your mailbox. That way, if something is missing, you can act quickly. It's one of those easy, no-cost steps you can take to protect yourself. So then, what should you do if you find out that you've fallen victim to check washing? First, don't panic. I know it's easier said than done, especially when money is involved, but acting fast is key. Contact your bank right away and let them know what happened. In most cases, they'll help you get your money back, as long as you report the fraud quickly. Next, file a report with your local police and the US Postal Inspection Service, because stealing mail is a serious crime. The sooner you report it, the better your chances of recovering your funds. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I hardly ever write checks anymore. And that's a great point. If you can, pay your bills online. It's usually more secure, and you don't have to worry about your checks getting stolen or washed. Just make sure you're not using public Wi-Fi when paying your bills online, because that opens up a whole other can of worms when it comes to security. At the end of the day, check washing might sound like something from a bygone era, but it's a real threat that's not going away anytime soon. Taking a few simple steps, like hand-delivering your mail or using a gel pen, can help protect you from becoming a victim. And remember, always keep an eye on your bank account so you can catch anything suspicious right away. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Have you or someone you know ever been affected by check fraud? How did you handle it? Drop your story in the comments below. And, as always, if you found this helpful, hit that like button and consider subscribing for more tips on keeping your finances safe and secure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.